Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to make a video related to glossaries because many of the comments on the previous videos share that they don't know about basic terms in astronomy. So I decided to make a playlist in which we are going to discuss each and every term used in astronomy by its alphabetical order. So this is the first video of the series. Keep supporting me. Okay, so let's start. So first is a ring. A ring, one of the three Saturnian rings visible from Earth. The A ring is farthest from the planet and is separated from B ring by the Caesium division. Casimini division. So we don't understand anything. So let us take two illustrations that where is A ring, where is B ring. So yes, let me magnify this. So you can find this. There is a ring which is outermost ring of Saturn. These colors are false colors because they are enhanced to see from the Earth to make our preference. So the innermost ring is C ring, then going outward it to B, and Casimini division in between B and A, and the last one is Eckley gap. So these are the Saturn rings. They are visible from Earth, and we have just enhances the intensity in order to see them better. So let's go back. PDF, yes. So second is abstraction of sunlight. Yes, this is a very important phenomena. So it's a small shifting in the observation direction to the star caused by Earth's motion perpendicular to the light of sight. So as we discussed in a first video, redshift and blue shift, this phenomena is just related to this. This phenomena states that when Earth is moving, there is a change in the light. So this is the moving Earth. When the Earth is moving, the intensity is getting coupled up in the direction of motion, but in the opposite direction of motion, they are getting spread out. Hence, there is a deviation in the observation. Here it is a uniform sphere when Earth is not in motion, but when Earth is in motion, then it is not a uniform sphere. Okay. Third, absolute brightness. The apparent brightness of a star would have if it were placed at a standard distance of 10 parsec from the Earth. So here parsec, light years, these are very big distance and are constantly used in astronomy to define big distance. So the absolute brightness is considered as a standard where a star placed at 10 parsec distance from the Earth its brightness is considered to be absolute brightness. Next is absolute magnitude. The apparent magnitude of a star would have if it were placed at a standard distance of 10 parsec from the Earth. It is the apparent magnitude of a star at 10 parsec distance. Absolute zero is a different concept from this. Absolute zero is the lowest temperature possible on the scale. So lowest it is 0 Kelvin in Kelvin scale is stated as absolute temperature. Okay, so over the absolute temperature every body shows radiation. Next is absorption lines. So I think you have heard about spectra, how spectra are made due to jumping of electrons from higher to lower orbital. So this is the same thing. Absorption means when we throw a beam of light, a white light, and in the outcome we have the light, we have the spectra which have black lines on it. So these black lines are called absorption spectra. These are the wavelength, these are the lights, frequency and wavelength of light which have been removed, as by the energy of these wavelength is absorbed by the atom inside and hence used in the matter. So we have the absence of those lights and we have black light instead of the original colored light. So this is called absorption spectra. These spectra can be used in many ways in astronomy, as they are used to calculate the distance from others from these from different objects to the earth, and also shows what are the elements in that particular star or the observable body. Sec- Next, abundance. Abundance is the relative amount of different elements in a gas. So, have we heard about that? The most abundant element on Earth is O2. So, the most abundant means that we have a lot of quantity present in it. Abundance means relative quantity, relative amount which is present. That abundance of aluminium, abundance of oxygen, abundance of carbon, and so on the earth. Okay? Next, acceleration, the rate of change of velocity of a moving body is called acceleration. Okay? Accretion, gradual growth of bodies such as planet by the accumulation of other small bodies. So this accretion is the reason of formation of the big giant structures in the universe. As small pieces of small chunks of rock, dust, they combine to each other and make big and big planets. This is the building process of our universe. Okay, acceleration disk, accretion disk, flat disk of matter spiraling down onto the surface of a neutron star or black hole. Often the matter originated on the surface of a compositional star in a binary star system. So acceleration ring. Have you seen the spiral? Have you seen the spiral shape of the Milky Way galaxy from the top? You have seen that there is a spiral going around the black hole. So these are called acceleration disks. They are constantly moving around the black hole as Earth and other planets are revolving around Sun. We are as a galaxy, as a matter of galaxy, our solar system is revolving around the black hole. So this is signified by acceleration disk. Most of the motions we get in astronomy are anti-clockwise, but there is a Venus which is exception, which move in clockwise direction. This could be because of a very significant, very violent activity on Venus. It might have a strike by a planet with a greater magnitude than its speed, and hence it results in the motion opposite to the conventional. Next is active galactic nuclei, region of intense emission at the center of an active galaxy responsible for virtually all the galaxy's non-stellar luminosity. So this is the light, the intensity, the emission which a galaxy made due to its emission at the center of the galaxy emission, because at the center there's a black hole, and near black hole there are very violent activities going on, and this results in a very bright center. Okay, next is active galaxy, the most energetic galaxies which can emit hundreds of thousands of times any energy per second than the Milky Way galaxy, mostly in the form of long wavelength non-thermal radiation. These are called active galaxies, which have more radiation power than our own, and it can be more big and have more matter in it. So this are called active galaxies. Active optics, collection of techniques used to increase the resolution of ground-based telescopes. Minimum modification are made to the overall configuration of an instrument as its temperature and orientation changes, used to maintain the best possible figure at all times. So what do we mean by active optics? So on Earth there is a satellite, and on first satellite is on the earth and second satellite is in space. So on earth, while reaching the wavelength, the light reaching to us also have to suffer deviation from our atmosphere, but the same light reaching to our space-based telescope do not fail such kind of deviation. So we have to make adjustments according to the conditions. So this is called active optics. We have to change the adjustment. We have to adjust our telescope according to the situation of the nearby places. Active region of the photosphere of sun surrounding a sunspot surface, which can erupt violently and unpredicted during sunspots maximum. The number of active regions is also a maximum. So active regions can be simply defined as the regions where we have bunch of sunspots, magnetic field coming out and in. So we are going to discuss this phenomenon in detail while we are going to discuss the structure of sun, because sun itself is a very great mystery to us, and we know best about sun in the whole solar system, because it is our source of energy. Active sun. The unpredictable aspect of the sun's behavior, such as a sudden explosion, outburst of radiation in the form of predominance, luminescence, and flares. So, have you heard about solar flames? Solar flames is a burst of charged particles in the atmosphere. Millions and trillions of particles, neutrinos, and other are explode or outburst from sun every second, and they even pass from us, but we cannot feel them. they are they are, they are very reactive. They are very harmful species for us. So we have magnetosphere to protect us from the following, and this results in a beautiful phenomena on the poles, which is called aurora. These are the charged particles which form aurora. Okay, so adaptive optics technique used to increase the resolution that we have discussed. Okay, resolution of telescope by deforming the shape of mirror surface under computer control while on measuring is being taken, used to undo the change of the atmosphere turbulence. The optics on earth is difficult because of the atmosphere shift, which is aerosol suspension of liquid or solid particles in air. So some examples for aerosol are smoke and fog. Alpha particle, this is the main constituent of what? Radioactive decay. So alpha particle is a helium nuclei which have two proton, two neutron, and two electrons. Okay, alpha particle. It has double G charge to an positive proton. Alpha process, the process occurring at high temperature, in which high energy photons split heavy nuclei to form helium nuclei. This is what? Nuclear fission. Okay, nuclear fission. LSEP, which is Apollo Lunar Surface Experiment Package. Let me just show you. Yes, this is we are talking about. This is LSAP, Lunar Experimental Package. Okay. Yes. Altimeter is the instrument used to determine altitude. We on earth use barometer also. Okay. Amino acid are the organic molecules that form the basis building the protein that direct metabolism in living creature. So what are amino acid? Amino acid are the building block of our body. So amino acid gives us the energy. These are proteins. We are made up of protein. Everything in our body is made up of protein. There is a tracing of protein in our body. Next, this is a concept which is actively used to determine whether life exists on other planet or not, because the amino acids are very very important and solid evidence of life on any other planet. Okay. Okay. Next is Amor asteroid. The asteroid that crosses only the orbit of Mars. Let me just show you with an illustration. Yes, this. So here you can see the asteroids which passes just the Mars are called Amors, and they just outgraze or just passes with the Earth's own orbit. Okay, let's go. Amplitude, the maximum deviation of wave above or below 0 point. Yes, you might have heard of this term in your physics textbook. Okay, amplitude. Let us consider a wave going up and down. Let us consider a sine wave. So it has its amplitude at 1. Okay, pi by 2, sine pi by 2 equals to 1. Next is Armstrong. Armstrong distance unit equal to 0.1 nanometer or 1/10 billionth of a meter. So as Armstrong is the unit which is used to calculate very small distances. So 1 Armstrong equals to 10 to the power minus 10 meters. What is angular distance? Angular distance, angular diameter, angular distance, angular momentum, angular resolution. So these angular quantities are equivalent to linear quantities, but they have a factor of distance in them. Okay, they have a factor of distance. These are basic terms which are used in astronomy and in the outer world as well. Next is annular eclipse. Solar eclipsing occurs at a time when the moon is far from away from the earth that it fails to cover the disk of the sun completely, leaving a ring of sunlight visible around its edges. Because the annular ellipse is not a perfect ellipse because it not been able to cover the sun completely. Moon is not been able to cover sun completely. There is a light which is from the corner that we can see that the light is coming towards us. A beautiful pattern is observed due in annular eclipse. What are antimatters? Wow, antimatters. So configuration of the electron and proton in an hydrogen or other atom when their spin axes are parallel but two rotates in opposite direction. Okay, sorry. These are anti-parallel which have different behavior. The electron and proton, they have different charge. The element I am excited for are antiparticles. Antiparticles. So a particle of the same mass but opposite in all other respects charge to give particle. When an particle and antiparticle comes into contact, annihilation and release of energy in the form of gamma rays is observed. So what is antiparticle? What are antiparticles? Assume that we have proton, positron, where we have electron and its antiparticle will be a positron. When they come together they annihilate. There is no there is just destroying of mass and creation of energy. So there is, after annihilation there is no mass left, only energy is left. This is a very beautiful process, and if we are able to make control on this process, we could make anything possible for us. That is the power of annihilation. Aphelion. the point on the elliptical path of an object in the orbit about the sun that is most distinct from the sun. As we know that each planet moves in an elliptical orbit around the sun, and hence making a minimum and a maximum distance from it. So the minimum and the maximum distances are respectively termed. Okay, so here the distinct is termed as aphelion. Aphelion. Okay, aphelion. Next is a Apollo asteroid. Apollo asteroid, Earth crossing asteroid, as we discussed in the earlier one, that Mars crossing asteroids. So here these are Earth crossing asteroids. Same image can be used but with different configuration according to Earth. Apparent brightness, the brightness that a star appears to have as measured by observer on the these are called apparent term because there is atmosphere and it causes deviation in our observation. Association, small grouping of typically 100 or less bright stars spanning up to few tens of parsecs, usually rich in very young stars. Association, these are clusters of stars. Cluster of bright star, association means cluster of bright stars. Okay. Assumption of meridosity, statements suggesting that the development of life on earth did not require an unusual circumstance, suggesting that extraterrestrial life may be common. This is a thesis. Okay. Assumption of meridosity. Assumptions are just assumptions till they are confirmed. Theoretical physics mainly focus on making theories according to the observation they receive, and the experimental proof may come after a long time. Einstein this follow the same principle, and his statements are not even verified today. He is so much ahead of time. He is like a god for me. So next are asteroids. Wow, asteroids, one of the thousands of very small members of the solar system that orbit the sun around the orbits of Mars and Jupiter, often referred to as minor planets. There are two major asteroid belts in in our solar system. First one is asteroid belt, which is between Mars and Jupiter, and last one is Kuiper belt, which is in the last of the solar system, which is behind Uranus. Yes, asteroid belt region of the solar system between orbit of Mars and Jupiter. In most of the asteroids are found. Astro asthenosphere, layer of Earth's interior just below the lithosphere, over which the surface plates slides over which the surface plates slide. So we are aware of the tectonic activities going on Earth, such as earthquakes, which result in earthquakes, volcanoes, etc. So these are called actinosphere, asthenosphere, where all these activity take place. Astrology, pseudoscience that purposed to use the position of the planets, star, moons to predict daily events and human des- destiny. Oh. Astrology. Please, can you comment down below who among you believe in astrology? So I think astrology might be true or might not be, because if we wave our hand in the universe, in a standing in our room, we are influencing universe. We are changing the distance and creating fluctuation. So we are connected to each and everything in the universe, whether it's moon, sun, planet. We are creating disturbance by waving our hand. We are increasing and decreasing distance. So we can make a physical connection. We are making a physical connection with the planet. So I think it might be true or not be that astrology Predicts future, I don't know, but it can be true if we talk about the relation between planet and us. Next is astronomical unit. Astronomical unit, as I uh, suggested before, the average distance of the earth from the sun. Pre- Precise radar reels at this. So astronomical unit is the distance between earth and sun. So the distance between earth and sun is equals to 1 astronomical unit. Okay, so this is the value of astronomical unit, quite a huge value. Next is astronomy, branch of science dedicated to the study of everything in the universe that lies above the earth's atmosphere. Wow, how many of you have goosebumps right now? Astronomy, the branch of science dedicated to the study of everything in the universe that lives above Earth's atmosphere. Wow. Oh, let's get to it. Astronomy. I think astronomy is the earliest science known to the mankind, because there is no shelter in the earlier times, that people don't have big homes or anything else, so they used to sleep under stars. And they, as our human nature, we love to make patterns. So they to make patterns and have came with astronomy. So this is the oldest science we can establish. Okay, oldest science established. Asymptotic giant branch. Path of the Hertz Sprung Russell diagram, corresponding to the change that a star undergoes after helium burning ceases in the core. At the stage, the carbon core shrinks and the driven expansion of the envelope, and the stars become a swollen red giant in the second time. So we are going to discuss about the star cycle in detail in the upcoming lectures. So I think we should leave this term. So you are going to learn this term in that chapter. Okay, so I just want to give you a glance that during the formation of a star, for life of a star is very harsh. It comes with very glory and ends with dark. So a star regularly burns it gases. Firstly it burns hydrogen, then helium, then carbon, and so on, to making an iron core, and then bursting neutrino, when becoming a neutron star. So this is the cycle of a star, in which it collapse, expands, and perhaps do everything that you can imagine. So we are going to discuss this in detail in the upcoming series. A 10th asteroid, Earth crossing asteroid with semi-major axis less than 1 AU. Okay, the distance between Earth and the asteroid is less than 1 astronomical unit. Next is atmosphere. So layer of gas confined close to the planet's surface by force of gravity. Yes, the force of gravity is responsible for the formation of atmosphere. Force of gravity holds the gas particles, in the confined space around the earth. Why do you think that sphere is the most used space by the universe? Yes. So why every planet, everything we observe in the universe is either sphere or random, something random. So why only sphere? So sphere has a special property of containing that maximum volume for the given radii, for the given at for the given surface area. For the given surface area, it can hold the maximum volume. So this is the most effective and efficient shape to go with. So universe is just going with the shape of a sphere, because it is the most effective one to enclose matter with the smallest surface area and greatest volume. Next is atom. Atoms are the building blocks composed of positive charge protons and neutral neutrons in the nucleus, surrounding by negative charge of electrons. So a physicist isn't try by atom to understand itself. Wow, what a thought. Atoms are the building block of matter. Okay, atomic epoch, period after decoupling when the first simple atom and molecule formed. Atomic epoch, period after decoupling when the first simple atoms and molecules formed. Decoupling, that is getting fused away, getting getting away from each other when the first atoms are made. We are going to discuss this. I'm also not confirm about this, so I'm going to tell you in the next lecture. Okay, after getting there. Yes, as we discussed earlier about aurora, the magnetosphere. So here is comes event that occurs when atmospheric particles are excited by the incoming charged particle from the solar wind. They emit energy as they fall back on their ground state. Aurora generally occurs at high latitudes near the North Pole and South Pole. So I think you must Google what are auroras, and you will be fascinated to see them. They are just beautiful activities that can take place on Earth. Very beautiful. Autumn epoxyon, date on which the sun crosses the celestial equator for moving southwards, occurring on the September days. So equinox are responsible for the change in temperature. So I will teach you how the temperature and the weather cycle, climate cycle varies throughout the year in on Earth. So we are going to discuss this in detail in tomorrow's lecture. Okay, by great illustration in this. So this is how we are done with A letter. Now we are going in next lecture we are going to go with B and C and so on to Z. So hence we will be fully equipped with our tools to study astronomy after the end of this series. So keep supporting me, and this is thank you from my side. And you might be thinking of the book which I am using. I am using the Beginner's Guide to Astronomy. Okay, so I'll provide the link in the comments. Okay, so you can access this PDF. If you want the pictures and any other material, or you want to make me do something special for you, for which topic you want to study, so you can comment down below and let me know. Okay, so it's bye from my side. Thank you.